Hey, what's up? Jesse Richman here, and I'm a few days into riding the Ozone Pocket Rocket, this tiny little Parawing that's just gonna take you places. So one of the cool things about the Ozone Pocket Rocket is how easy it is to just launch and try things and just practice. What I love about this is the setup time is, let's say, what is this, about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds to get it in the air, something like that. And yeah, if you have a little bit of wind, just take this thing with you. It's tiny, it fits in your backpack, take it anywhere. And it's so good to just get more time flying this. And you can see right now we have pretty decent wind, and it's really easy to figure out, okay, turning is a little bit of this twisting. And if you really want to turn it quickly, you can use your whole body together, and that helps. Power and depower, really simple. You kind of can power it up, and there's like a happy zone of it being right here in the power zone. And you get a little bit of a gust, you can just go back and forth like this. Depower is up here. So this wing depowers very well, and that's just by holding the front line, or like the top lines. These would be considered the A's, the A lines. And you can be rocketing, and just, okay, you start to get overpowered, then just start pulling more on these until the wing is literally almost flapping. And it will flap a lot, but that's okay. That's just it spilling the wind. So parawinging is very simple, especially with the Ozone Pocket Rocket. You take it out of the bag, it works, it has everything you need, you're good to go. The only accessory that is pretty essential is the stash belt. This thing is really, really helpful. You literally just pop this thing open it up, and you can shove the entire Parawing in here. So whether you're going out and you just want to paddle out on the board, or you want to stuff it in there before you come in, that makes transporting it super easy. Walking up the beach, anything is really helpful having this. And when you get advanced, you can stash it in this belt when you're out on the water, so you can just focus on foiling. The Pocket Rocket does have a lot of power, so if you're out there for a while, your arms can get fatigued. That's where the harness helps so much. It's really, really essential and just makes life easy. So this Ozone stash belt is a game changer. Now, as you're learning to pocket rocket, you don't need to be in a hurry to get up on the foil. The goal is understanding the wing, getting comfortable out on the water, and the beauty is you can actually ride back and forth, even on a board not on foil, on the Pocket Rocket. It has the upwind ability, so it can really penetrate the wind quite well, and you can go back and forth, getting comfortable on your setup. Then when you're ready, you can try to advance to the foil, and that's where it'll just become easy and effortless. But take your time getting to that point. It's all about the baby steps. So getting up for the first time can be a little challenging. Using a bigger board or a bigger foil is pretty helpful. Making sure that you're powered up enough also really helps. So when you're trying to get up, it's a little bit of a game of just letting the wing pull you up. unlike a traditional wing where you can pump it really hard, this doesn't pump as much. It's a little bit more of letting it pull you up. You can give it 1 or 2 little pumps, but if you pull it too hard, the whole thing will essentially collapse. So it's almost better to think about waiting for the gust, being patient, letting the wing pull you up with your straight arms, and once you get up, that's when you want to focus on trying to get a little bit of speed to pump that foil and get up onto foil. The pocket rocket has a lot of power, and what that means is when you get up and going is you can get overpowered quite easily. Fortunately, this thing also has a lot of depower, which is one of the unique points on the Ozone pocket rocket, is how well it depowers. And that was really one of the key points of designing this wing, was making sure that we had something that went upwind really well and depowered really well. So the other day, Kai and I went out and we were just so overpowered. It was gusting over 40 and we were able to hold on to the front. We're literally holding on to that top handle, depowering it as much as possible. I forgot my harness line that day because I had switched to a new wing, and it was still pretty easy to manage. So really understanding that this thing has a big range is key, and knowing how to depower this wing makes all the difference, so that you can utilize that power to get up, get going, shoot downwind, and then as you start to get speed, depower it, sheet it out, start really rocketing upwind. That's a key thing to understanding this and having a good time with this wing. And once you're hooked in, it becomes very effortless. It becomes a really easy thing to manage, almost like you're kite foiling. You're just leaning back and controlling it with your fingertips. Another cool thing about the pocket rocket is it penetrates the wind well enough that it unlocks a whole realm of new tricks. One of the early ones that you can focus on that I was actually able to get a few on my first day was the tack. And that's because you can just edge upwind, and instead of doing that classic downwind turn, you can do that upwind turn, which is a pretty common thing in foiling. And with this pocket rocket, it's a pretty natural movement of going upwind and just passing that bar above your head. So that's a pretty fun maneuver to work on once you get riding back and forth dialed. And for stashing and redeploying, that I think is a little bit of a tricky maneuver, is getting everything bunched up in an easy, clean way isn't the simplest. What I've found to be helpful is focusing on when you're pulling the wing in. I start with the top lines, with the depower. These are the orange lines. I grab those, I bunch them up, I pull everything neatly into my arms. And once you have it in your arms, then that's a great place to stop, to focus on the foil, make sure you're on a good swell, ride the wave, whatever. And then if you want to just go from that to redeploy, that's very easy, very simple. John McCabe has been crushing it at this, and that's really the game that we play here, is when you're on a wave, stash it, ride the wave. Okay, you pump off, open the thing back up. And that is just repetition, but when you're doing that, focus on trying to gather it all without tangling the lines, bunch it up together. Then if you want to take it to the next level, kind of start to fold it together, throw it in the stash belt, and now you're ready for a long downwind run or that mile-long wave. And being able to then pull it out cleanly is, I would say, when you reach pro status. Pull it out, redeploy, you are just crushing the game. So there's just a few tips and tricks on how to progress with the Ozone pocket rocket. We are still in the early days of this sport, so if you have any questions or ideas or comments, drop it down below, send us a message, and let's figure this out together. Woohoo!